Good morning, hope you're well. Welcome to this mobility method session and a bit of stretch and flow for you. Grab yourself a mat, unless you're doing it on carpet. Sit that down on the floor beside you for the moment. Grab yourself a drink of water. Play some nice soft music in the background, something that you'd like to listen to. Cheers. Right, let's find a space then. Okay, so check around one way, check around the other. Make sure you've got plenty of room. Make sure you're ready for this morning. Good morning, good morning. There we go. Good morning. Okay, so we're going to have our feet underneath our sitting bones. We're just going to work through our slow rotations through on our knuckles and our knees flexing forward and back. Drive forward on your pelvis. Bring your shoulders back through into position, elbows back. Crown your head up to the ceiling. Imagine there's a piece of string that's just pulling you up. Let your shoulders come back into position and nice, deep, easy, regular breathing. Now, on your toes here, I want you to feel, as you flex forward, we're going to get all the toes and the knuckles down to the ground. We're going to do the same on the other side. Slow it right down. Okay, now if you're doing this on a hard floor and you know your knuckles don't like that, grab yourself a mat and stick through onto it. So we're getting a bit of a stretch and a lengthening out on the front of the shin. Swap it over. Nice, easy flex through. Now, as we're coming through, we're flexing the toes. As you can see, we're extending through the ankle. Now, allow the knee to come forward. The right knee is going to flex forward, and we get full extension through the ankle. The toes flex underneath, and we're in here. Now, we're going to drive the pelvis forward, and we're going to bring our shoulders back, and then we are going to lift and lengthen up by straightening the left leg. Yeah, so we come through here. So the right toes are extended. We've got flex in the right knee here, but we're getting this right foot as long as possible. Now, the angulation on the front of the shin here needs to go as straight as possible. Now, you might find that this gets very tight in your big toe. Now, if you do that, you need to do some big toe manipulation. So sit down with your legs, so one foot over the top of the other, and you'd be wiggling your toe, yeah? And trying to get an extension. From there, release and walk out on it. Move around, okay? You'll find that big toe got a little bit tight. Swap it over, and again, we're gonna work through, so our feet underneath sitting bones, and as always, our big toe slightly turned in. Pelvis driven forward, forward flex over the top, extend through the front of the shin and have your hips back into position. Push forward on your tummy, bring your shoulders back, bring your chest up. And again, you feel a lovely big elongation. Now you find that around the big toe. Now if you're going, I find that excruciatingly painful, you need to do some work on that big toe. And there's a lot of research now about if the big toe doesn't manipulate or move correctly, the corresponding problem in the pelvis and the hip and the knee is exacerbated. So if your toes don't flex properly like this, you need to do some work on it. And I do that every single day. Good. From there, release off the foot, okay, and then walk out and move around. Good. From here, pelvis driven forward, and we're going to raise up through our right knee. So our knee is coming up over the hip joint here. Now, if you're struggling with that, you need to grab the wall or a chair, bring your hand underneath the thigh and pull it up. Okay, and you might be here and going, that's as far as my hip will flex. If that's you, you cannot get your knee over your hip. Keep moving on this plane here. If you cannot get your knee over your hip, okay, you need to go and see a GP and check if there's some impingement or a physiotherapist. Okay, alternatively, if you can't get your knee over that position there, you need to work on some movement here. So if you know there isn't a trauma related to that pelvis, okay, you need to work on it daily, yeah? So don't feel sad about your flexibility or the lack of impingement here or the increased impingement. What you want to work on is trying to get this movement, okay? So this knee should be able to self-flex, i.e. you pull it up without support, okay, up over your hip. Now, as the foot comes beside each other here, we should be able to flex up again. Now push forward on the pelvis, bring your chest up, bring your shoulders back. The foot comes back beside and then raises again. So the foot is hovering the floor. And keep working through this range. Again, you might be grabbing the wall to be able to do this, and that's absolutely fine. You might be grabbing your thigh to assist. Work it through. Safe, relevant, effective movements, as always. But make sure now that your big toes are slightly pushed in towards each other, and this pelvis is taken out of its anterior pelvic tilt into it straight. Lengthen your body. Keep working on it. Nice high knee flex. Really good. Now, watch this foot as it comes up. Notice how my foot wants to angulate. No, I want to get it flat to the floor. So it's always parallel to the ground. Okay? You'll find you have to push your big toe down. Now, the other thing is, as you're working through that foot flexion, yeah, and extending through your ankle, you might have found it got really tight up here on the top of the bridge. Keep moving that leg. We're going to do this for a while, yeah? Now, if you found that was tight in there, you've got slight problems. You probably have a rubbing on the talus underneath it. So you keep working through your flex and you keep working through this move. Trying to keep that foot flat, but also the ankle is staying at 90 degrees here. So you need to pull your toes up. The other part is at least knee flexion at 90 degrees here. Okay, push through there. Shake it out and wiggle your hips. So circumduct. Yeah, we've got really tight there in the hips. It's a killer. Well done. Nice. Big circle. Okay, check your feet position again. So they're nice and parallel. Big toe slightly turning. Let's counterclockwise. Really good. And relax. Good stuff. Okay, let's change it over. Let's do the left leg. As in standing on the left leg. And flex up the other side. So whichever you're on. Right, let's change here. Nice. Now you'll find that one leg won't be able to get as high as the other one. And that's because we have muscle imbalance. Yeah? So, here, pelvis forward, and flex. Now, don't worry if you can't get there, yeah? Don't worry if one side just needs a bit more of a pull. So for me, if I try and raise this left foot up, I then have to give a bit of support, yeah? I've done this all my life, and I still have to give it that support. And the reason is, I'm right dominant to keep going on your move. So if I kick a ball, I will stabilize on this leg. So the fixation and the stabilizing muscle groups, yeah, have got to work really hard. Okay, so if I try and flex up into here, it doesn't go as high as my other leg, yeah? So, and that's normal. And the hardest thing to do in fitness, in my opinion, is to understand what progress is and what's normal. Keep it all on that same leg and high flex and extension. Now again, we're going to watch that foot is staying parallel to the floor. It's not pointed down or raised up. It's halfway between the two. Okay, we've got that 90 at the ankle, and we've got the 90 at the knee and the hip. Keep working it. The standing leg is really starting to get tired. That's perfectly normal. Keep that movement up and through. Now, as you kick down to the floor, allow that pelvis to extend forward. So you're going to come into a bit of what's called posterior pelvic tilt, i.e. getting it around in. Now, you're going to lose balance. Okay, if you don't lose balance, it's not because you're fitter, it's because you need to practice, yeah? You need to lose balance, yeah? You need to get to a point where you go, whoa, okay, that's tough. Get yourself to a position where you lose your balance, yeah? Don't be afraid to fall over, is what I'm trying to say. Because you're pushing the neuromuscular pathway, yeah? The brain to the muscles, how it works. Really good. Pelvis driven forward, shoulders back, chest up. Two more here. One more here. And release, shake it out. Okay, so from here we forward fold. Oh, it's a long way down there. And then we slowly pull ourselves back up. We circle the arms out wide and we're going to interlace our fingers overhead. Okay. So I was working with my chiropractor yesterday and we're looking at different techniques of things. Very good friend of mine, Anna. And what we were looking at is about hip and pelvis alignment and movement. Internal, external rotations of our pelvis. Keep going there so you stretch up and through. Okay, so one of the key parts is trunk flexion extension. So we're extending our spine here, yeah? We're arching through and we're lengthening our abdominals here. Okay, as we come back up, we're going to feel the lower back gets a little impingement around the SI joint and the lower lumbar. That's absolutely normal. Pelvis drives forward, the shoulders are back, chest up nice and high, draw back up, looking up towards the ceiling. Trying to get a little bit more on that range each time, keeping the fingers interlaced. Oh, it's a long way back into there today. Toes turn in, heels turn up just slightly. Good work. Slowly release out. Now, if you can turn your arms inside out, so you've gone from here and pull down and through, that's a good sign, okay? If you can get all the way through, even better. So push your wrists away further. Lace them back in and up and over. Now, if you can't do that, and you get to here, that's cool, okay? If you only get to there, that's cool. Try and get through to here. Release, extend, and push back. Quite simple movements, also quite difficult to achieve. Okay, and you'll notice that you've got your one hand in front of the other at the moment. That's fine. We're going to swap over to the other side in a minute. And now, as we come back and we lean back into this, we allow the pelvis to shoot forward and the shoulders to retract back into position. And then we're going to come through, fold over again. Take it back out, roll it back over and through. Now, if you're struggling with that movement because osteoarthritis, impairments in your wrist, whatever, carpal tunnel syndrome, whatever it is, just work through to where it feels comfortable. Okay, so don't worry about getting all the way through if you can't get it. Don't worry, it's about progress, yeah? Safe, relevant, effective movements for you. Okay, release the arms out, and so whichever way you had your arms forward, you're now going to rotate and do it the other side. Okay, and you're going to find different muscle groups will get stretched here. You might find it on the brachioradialis in your forearm here. You might find it through that shoulder rotator. Whatever it is, find the one for you. Oh. The other part is you're going to feel it here. If you can't feel it here, this is your latissimus dorsi, this big wing muscle that pulls the arm in. Just try and lean back a little bit further and come back over. So you see at the start of the Olympics, especially on the backstroke, they'll be up on pull side and they'll be doing this. Again, let it drop down, through and turn. Oh, it's a long way through. And we're going to turn it and come back over again. Now, as you can see, I'm now starting to do a bit of a butterfly kick if we were swimming. Yeah, so I've got the hips pinging forward and back. Keep working on yours. What I'm trying to do here is create little tremors at that point of extension, yeah? So we've got our hips forward and we're just trying to get this movement here. And that's really important because we're trying to get the facets of the spine just to give a bit of oscillation, the ligaments to get a bit of movement, okay? So, perfectly safe, feet forwards, okay? What we're not doing is finding a point of pain and then bouncing on it. We're trying to keep the body here and flex. Tuck it down and through. Okay, and come back up. Now, this next one, as you push up, elongate your body. You should be able to see the wing muscles in the arms up here. See me and come up onto tiptoe. Push up. Now feel what happens on your toes. Do your heels fleck out wide? Do they stay medial? We want them here in plane. Lean back, stretch back, and reach. 3, 2, 1. Lower back onto your heels. Release the arms, roll through, and this time you're going to trunk flex. So you're going to stick your bum back. Oh, and feel your lower back extend. It's a lovely way of changing your body increasing the mobility of our body. As you come back up again, we reach. Now, if you can, you're going to rest your head on your arms. So from here, extend, push up, get your head forward of your arms, and then your head should be able to rest on your arms. Now, keep holding that. If you can't do that, it's because you're really tight in your chest. You should be able to get your elbows almost together in this top point here. So I have a little gap there, as you can see, just above my head, yeah? So we can get all the way across. We're pushed up, we're elongated. It's a great way of lengthening our back and our spine, and strength through our body. Now, see if you can grasp your fingers here a little bit more into a ball, and then push and stretch. Oh. And release, lowering your heels back down again. Roll and flex. Oh. Unfold, step up. Here we go, last one up, through, push and stretch. Make that ball with the hands, nice and tight. Stick the head forward. Raise up onto the ball of the feet. Extend the arms back. Lengthening through the body. Can you reach further towards the ceiling? Can the pelvis stay forward? And release. Roll. Flex. Chin down on the chest. And release. Good work. Shake it out. Grab yourself a drink of water. Lick it around your lips. Cheers. Good work. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so from here, standing on our right leg, we're going to slide our left leg out wide and then slowly bring this back in again. Okay, so as you'll notice here, as the leg comes out to the side, the toe turns in, the big toe turns in medially, so towards, our feet are staying parallel here. Also notice that the foot is just off the floor in this position here. So we're going to pull through and we're going to hover here. Okay, your feet, if you can do this in barefoot, it's brilliant, yeah? So heel turned out, toe turned in slightly, foot is connected to the floor, i.e. it's just touching, and you can feel this thigh is working hard. If you can't feel this, flex a bit more in the standing knee, take your foot wider. If it's too much, yeah, grab the wall and hold here. That's fine. Slowly drag back through into position, push pelvis back into neutral, and bring your shoulders back, i.e. going straight up from your ear through to your ankle bone. Yeah. Go again. Here we go. Lateral flex. Strong on this thigh, big isometric hold here. These muscles are contracting to hold you, otherwise you fall on your nose. Yeah. Slowly pull back up. Now, this foot is going to cross over. Keep it going on its journey. It's obviously going to be in front of the other foot. And I want you to loop it round so it comes side by side to the other foot. Now you're going to put it down to the floor and you're going to look down at your toes. Now, your toes should be parallel to each other, straight line running across the front of them. If this foot that's come across is in front, you need to help drag it back into plane. If it's behind it, okay, you're going to find a lovely big lengthening through. I.e. what I mean is my left foot has gone over my right foot and my foot isn't parallel, it's behind my standing leg. Now, as I forward flex from here, I don't need to go very far before I can find all those muscles that run over the back of my knee. Now, my standing foot faces forward. This isn't about touch the floor, guys. This is about stick your bum back and feel a lovely big movement. You've got the lengthening all the way through the back of the leg, predominantly through the medial aspect, the inner side of your hamstrings, the muscles on the back of your legs. Unloop, okay, and then slide again out to the side. Again, the front knee flexing forwards, the side foot pointed out. This should be screaming at you, yeah? The front thigh fully engaged here. Now flex your knee further. Can you get lower? You might need to grab the wall and see if you go a little bit further to challenge it. Now, try it. Just grab a wall or something that you can do. Okay, something that's not going to move away, because it just gives you the confidence to sit a bit lower. You're not like holding on for dear life, yeah? But you'll find your obliques will start to engage. And then when you feel confident, you can bring your hands on your thigh and drop lower. Now push up standing. Push the pelvis forward into square. Bring back your shoulder blade. And let the feet come side by side. You should be breathing pretty hard by now. This foot comes up and over. And again, we're going to try and stand these feet side by side. We're going to try and get that foot that's come over flat to the floor. And again, even with a slight hinge of the hips here, I can feel the back of that leg that is stretching out. Now, take note as well, the foot that came over, yeah, the foot that's still standing needs to stay flat to the floor. Big toe, little toe, toes to heel, flat down. If you do a lot of running, this is a wonder stretch. This is so good for you. See if you can kick the foot that came over, see if you kick it a bit longer, you get an even longer straightening out of this leg. Bring your hands on your bent thigh, stick your bottom back. Nice. And then slowly release off it to come back through into standing, drive your pelvis forward. And take your foot round on that loop and shake it out. Now this standing leg is going to feel crunchy, cracky, horrible for a minute. Shake it out and give it a good kick out. Yeah, good work. Take a drink of water. Cheers. Okay, maybe take into a little quad stretch for a second, just to release it out, because it's so much stabilizing just went on there. You're going to find it's quite tough. So we were standing on the right leg and we bring the left foot over, okay? This time we're now going to stand on the left leg and we're working on our right leg. Okay, so our right leg, again, we're just going to work on the side lateral leg raise. So this time we're still focusing on the feet staying parallel to each other and the pelvis is still driven forward, almost into that posterior tilt. I'll be happy with that because of the amount of time we sit here, yeah? So come into there for me, bring the shoulders back, okay? And still working on this lateral leg kick. Now again, grab the wall if you want to, because just that little finger touch, no finger touch, that's my lateral raise. Little finger touch, big difference. Yeah, and we want to work, the idea of this class is increasing mobilization. Yeah, making this more supple, making it more mobile. Yeah, no heavy weights, nothing, but functionality of what your body wants to do. People go, I'm really weak in my glutes and, you know, my adductors are too tight. Try this. Simple flexion movement, massively powerful. Now, the wider you go with this leg raise, you feel the standing leg is going to give you a bit more extension. Now, just watch that foot, because as it comes out to the side, your hip is want to circumduct. It's going to want to do that because you've been stuck in a Western world that tells you that that's acceptable in life. As we come through into more posterior tilt and you try and do this, you'll find that your foot will turn completely inwards, yeah? So you'd be doing this if you were normally stood like that. Nobody stands like that, yeah? So stand neutral, yeah, and come out here. Push that pelvis forward. Nice. Now we're going to change it back to what we were doing before. So we're going to slide out to the side. And again, we're going to allow this knee to flex and this foot to hover and then come back in again. Now again, this isn't about how deep you can go, but if you bring your hand onto the wall, again, you're going to find a twist and a rotation slightly in the torso, and therefore your obliques are just going to work that a little bit harder. Good. Again, that foot just staying hovering off the floor. Now, the other good thing is if you've got laminate flooring, yeah, you'll be able to draw your line with your foot, yeah? So the foot is hovering the floor, coming out to the side, this knee is tracking forward in plane, and then we're coming back into standing and driving the pelvis forward. Now again, this wide position, you should be able to hold, and this should be screaming at you, yeah? Your quadriceps in here, these four muscles are working really hard. Come back up to stand, drive your pelvis forward, bring the shoulders back. And again, drive it out. Feel what happens in that standing ankle as well. See if you get that a little bit lower into it. Strong. Brilliant. And if you fall over, brilliant, well done. Yeah? If you're going down the stairs, you're going, do this all day, Rob, and you're yawning, you're just going through the same old routine, yeah? If you want progress, you have to challenge your body to do things that it's not normal for it to do. And you might find the shoulder wants to rotate into here now. Try and open it up, and you'll find that as you open the shoulder, your foot will want to turn out. So turn the foot inwards. So you get this internal external rotation in our pelvis. And it feels uncomfortable because we don't do it enough. Why? Because nobody woke up this morning and went, you just don't do it. Okay, and release that. Shake it out and feel what's happened here in the pelvis. Feel what's happened in the quad. Okay, now we circumduct. Okay, so it's like we're hula hooping again. Our feet are parallel to each other. The tummy is forward. We flex lateral, we turn. And again, start to feel your body. So you might be able to do this with your eyes closed. And as you rotate through, you might feel the oblique here. You might find the erector spinae start to pull in as you forward flex. You might find it's your groin, it could be your pectineus, it could be your glute, whatever it is, something's got tight as you're rotating through. Okay, take note of it, write it down. Okay, change direction. And talk to your trainer, talk to your physio. Okay, and then, maybe find out some exercises that you can work together with to help increase your range in your movement. So, for example, here as I come round, I can feel my glutes really tightening up on this side here. And that's not a great position to be in. So I'll do some glute work to stretch it out and move it. Okay, flex it out. Okay, feet into sitting bones again. Forward flex from the hip. Drop down, drop your chin on the chest. Now you have a couple of options here. You can have your hands on your thighs to protect your knees. You can have a little softness in the knees if you want to. You don't have to lock this out, okay? If it feels natural for your knees to flex here slightly, take it into that little flex, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. You drop down and fold the arms. Crown your head down to the floor. And then unfold the arms, slowly rolling your fingers back up the front of your shins and your thighs. Come back into standing, drive pelvis forward, extend arms overhead, and tilt over to one side. Okay, now as you tilt, you're going to extend the arms as straight as you can and keep the elbow that's highest up to the ceiling. Now tilt a bit further and you'll find a big lengthening out the side of the body here. Slowly pulling back up and tilting the other side. Again, keeping that elbow high, pushing the arm out and straight. And release, shake it out. Good work. From there, feet in the sitting bones, drop down, fold the arms under, stretch overhead, breathe out and release. 2 more there. Good, good. Last one there. Fantastic work. Work through a butt kick, get it moving, and grab yourself some water. Really, really well trained this morning. Thank you so much for joining me there. That's been